Joe, let me comment a little bit on something a principle that you alluded to and a practice you alluded to. And that is that you, instead of asking God, and I call it, instead of dinging God for something, now obviously he doesn't mind hearing from us. But babies are all the time, wah, 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 and so I call that dinging God for something. Now for babies that's appropriate, but not for mature sons. So in my opinion, okay, what is the proper dialogue with God? Well, I think it's just that, dialogue. It's conversation. God, what do you think about that? Let's walk this out today. God, I don't know where this particular situation is going to end up, and it seems like it has a little bit of importance and consequence to it, but you know what, God? I don't really care where that ends up because I'm yours and you're my dad, and you're really going to help take care of this situation. All I want is the very best that you want. And so, God, could we dialogue through this? And of course, he loves the dialogue. I think he loves partnership way more than he loves being our answer man. He will be our answer man. He don't mind, okay, if that's what you need, I'll be your answer man. Maybe not with that whiny tone, but anyway. But he'll be our answer man, and he'll give us answers if that's the only way we'll relate to him. You see, he wants relationship. Well, if your relationship is only wrapped up in giving you answers, and me giving you answers, then okay, I just like being with you. I'll take you however I can get you. But I think he really loves the dialogue and conversation as we go along. So as you've heard me say many, many times, I rarely ask the Lord for anything, honestly and truly, because I think he's got it already covered. And so what he's just saying is, get in my mind. Well, Lord, I don't know what your mind is about this. And we said, well, why don't we hang out together? Why don't we walk and talk together? Why don't we just kind of share hearts about this? And in the sharing, then it seems to kind of drop in. Well, I'm building up to a specific illustration. Just this last week or two, some of our good friends from LA, Joseph and Shireen, Asians, were here in Kansas City visiting their son. And of course, we're great friends, and they are the ones that hosted us in Taiwan last fall. Had a great time, a really amazing time. During the course of that, they asked me, so when do you think you're going to go back to Taiwan? I said, I don't know. I just kind of feel like, I just feel like we're going to go back. And I said, if I was just to guess, I think it's going to be later in the year. And they said, well, who's going to finance you? I said, I don't know. That's way ahead of the game here. We don't need to know that. We need to know, what does God think about it? And so I just kind of present that out there, and I said, so I am not busting open doors. I'm not like, hey, can I come to you, and can I come to you, and hey, what do you think? It's just, you just hold it extremely loosely. I call it the open hand policy. Open hand, rather than, whoop, I got this thing, God, you got to come through. Okay, so open hand policy. I said, I want to just see if God is in this. Does he want us to come? You see, I didn't say, oh, God, you got to give me a sign. Can you please give me a sign? God, I want to go. Can you please open a door quick? So we know and people can begin planning, because if we don't plan, we'll lose our opportunity. And gosh, all the flight tickets that are cheap ones will all be gone, and people already have their churches scheduled, and none of us have ever said those kind of lines. But anyway, that's just way ahead of the curve. And in my opinion, at our level, let's just say at my level, I feel like that's kind of inappropriate kind of dialogue with God. Not for our maturity level. Our maturity level is to partner with him rather than ding him. Okay, so this is what happened just 2 or 3 days ago. So Shireen, she went back home. She got a text or an email message from one of the leaders of one of those networks. It was a 2 or 3 tiers down leader. And she said, I just heard those videos that you and Mark put together. And most of the videos were about angels, angel stories and angel principles, that type of thing. And she said, this is amazing, because just earlier, I think it was at Easter, they had a guest speaker. And the guest speaker came, and guess what he talked about? Angels. In fact, he says, when I came and I looked all around Taiwan, I saw he called it reef islands, which I didn't know Taiwan had reef islands, but I'll just use his terminology. He said, on reef islands, I saw bored angels. He says, and his message was to implore the people, the saints, to engage the angels. And so they were freshly stirred up about angelic. Well, anyway, the lady then sent to Shireen, says, Shireen, when I heard Mark's message, she says, I remembered everything that happened last fall. I am so stirred. We've got to make this happen. We have got to move into this because I feel the stirring of the Lord on it. Well, she sent that to Shireen and Joseph. And of course, remember, our conversation was, let's just wait and see. Let's just watch, hold it very open-handedly, very loosely, and just see if the Lord begins to validate and establish our way. Well, he did in less than a week. He's given us some pretty strong indicators. So guess what? I'm pretty sure we're going to go back.